What's up, Moshe? You guys ready for this one? Patricia Davis. I gotta say thank you. I love that image that you made for me. So I'll be using that all over the place. What's going on, Jeremy Keene? Anthony Pinkston. Got an interesting topic for you right now. Give it another second, a couple more people to come on, and we'll go ahead and get started. What's going on, Provis? Yeah, I watched that video. I'm actually, I liked it better than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be a whole video about the furry, the crypto kid living in a treehouse. And they did a pretty good job, somewhat balanced, whatnot. I don't like how they use Jordan Belfort, but he's gonna wish he never did that 5 to 10 years from now. That's a good documentary. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's controversial. It's called Bitcoin Boom or Bust. Who did that? Was that CNBC or Dateline? I think it was Dateline or something who did that one. Bitcoin Boom or Bust. All right, let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a very special conversation. I do this maybe once a year or so when I talk about residual income, the network marketing industry. And I've got a lot of experience on it. But before I go into that, I want to say happy Monday, happy Labor's Day to everybody. It's fitting that today's Labor Day, where we celebrate those of you that's working hard. You know, my grandfather taught my dad and also told me that no matter what you do in life, be the best at it. Put in all your effort, all your work that you can possibly can into it. And it's like what Jim Rome says, you know, work harder on yourself than you do harder on your job. But no matter if you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you can possibly be. And as I grew up and I started to realize and learn something, that the hardest working people in America are the brokest people in America. Now, I want you to bear with me with that statement. The hardest working people in America are the brokest. You know, you've got single moms, you've got working dads that work 2, 3 jobs. They're putting in 70, 80 hours a week. And yet they're only making enough money to pay their rent. They're one paycheck away from being on the street. And growing up, I grew up in a Cosby type household. My parents both college educated, a lot of success in my family. And going to college wasn't even an option, it was mandatory. You know, it was second nature in my household. And my father, you know, it's hard to stand in his shoes. He's one of the top rank officials in the entire country in his field. You know, he's got a building with his name engraved on it in downtown LA. And he's an individual where the American dream actually worked. He worked the same job for 43 years. Started off at that job washing cars because they had a hiring policy against minorities. And as, you know, time went on, he ended up becoming like the CEO of that company, the general manager. 43 years at the same job. So when I came up and they sent me to Morehouse College, it's a different times. You know, my generation, the Generation X, does not have it. We're the first generation to have a lower standard of living than my parents' generation. So that old model of go to school, get good grades, and get a good, safe, secure job was no longer feasible for my generation. My generation that followed that went to school, got good grades, got a good job, and ended up with student debt that they take 30 years to get out of, and making less money than they would for people that didn't even go to school. But I went to school. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And my senior year, I was introduced to network marketing, and the very first company was called ACN. And in that company, they said, you got to work on your personal development. And everything that I am today I credit the training that I went through during the ACN period. I was 21 years old, and you know, I stand on the shoulders of giants from those days, from the, you know, the James Dentley, the Montrell Jackson, the Mike Ashbys, the Barry Donaldsons of the world, the Sam Orams, the Chris Olivers, Steve Carter. I mean, the list, I can go on and on. The Ken Robinsons, the Pasha Oliver Carter, Chris, you know, I can just go on and on about that. And they taught me what it means to be a successful young man growing in this industry and working hard. So I took that same concept that my grandfather told me. You know, no matter what you do, you work hard at it. And they told me a couple of books I had to get, like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice by Dennis Kimbrough. And I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And my mind was open to how to generate and build wealth. You see, my father, when I read that book, my father was like the poor dad, but he was successful. But he worked so many hours a week, so I didn't see him as often as I would love to have. But he was successful at it, and that's all he knew, and that's what he taught his sons to do. But I wanted the rich dad lifestyle, right? So I was taught that the reason why you want to go into business for yourself or direct selling is because 95% of people out there are working and they're trading time for money. Meaning you go to work, you work hours, and you get paid for the amount of hours you work. But what I started to learn was that if you want to generate wealth, you have to allow money and time not to coincide with each other, to be able to make money regardless of how much time you put into it. And I listened to a gentleman, and his name was Darren Elijah out of Atlanta, Georgia. My very first presentation I ever went to. And Darren Elijah said, and I'll never forget this because I use it to this day. He said, most people are trading time for money. If you work or get sick, for example, if you get sick or something happens to your to where you're not able to work, what happens to your income? It stops. It goes to zero. You have no income coming in. But what happens if you figure out a way where you have 100 people working for you? And what if 10% of them don't come to work that week? You still have 90% income coming in. And he called that residual income. Do something one time and get paid on it over and over and over and over again. And I was like, wow, I like that concept. Do something one time and get paid over and over and over. And then I started seeing these guys at these conventions, standing on stage, getting $100,000 checks, making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And all they do is fly around the country and do presentations and go to conventions and go on cruises and resorts. And I'm like, man, I want that type of lifestyle. How are they doing it? Well, they had huge organizations. They had maybe 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people on their team. And they're getting paid from every single person, you know, little bits, and that adds up. So you're no longer trading time for money. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. It took them time to build that organization up. It took them a couple of years to do so. But once you did, you had the residual income constantly coming in. So me, 1998, 99 was like, that's what I want. I want to build my residual income. But I didn't make any much money in my first 8 to 9 years in the industry. I learned a whole lot. And going into about 2009, 2010, when I had an aha moment, the light bulb went off in my head and I figured it out. And I started to have tremendous success. I started to become the top producer of everything I was doing. Top money earner in the company, top, you know, hit the top ranks in the companies. And I started to notice that there was something different than what it used to be from the 80s and 90s. The internet was here. And when I grew up in this industry, you only had 2 choices if you decided to come into the direct selling industry. Choice number 1, when things started to go bad or not go as fast as you wanted it to go, you had one choice was to quit and go back to your 9-to-5 job where you already knew things weren't working. right? The second choice was to put your head down, get personal development, learn the skills necessary to become a leader, work on yourself. And those individuals skyrocketed to the top. But that's a 3 to 5 year process. You go to 2009, 2010 and beyond, there's a third choice. They're not going to go back on their job. No, that's not going to happen. But people don't want to work on themselves to get better. Option number 2. So they choose option number 3. You know what that is? Hold on, I got a train coming by here. Option number 3 is, I'm going to go join another company where the grass is greener somewhere else, where they're promising I can make more money without having to do much work. They'll recruit for me. I don't have to do jack squat. I sit on my butt and I'm going to make some money. And people jump ship and go to another thing. And then after 3 months later, they're like, man, it's just as hard over here. You know what? This is too difficult. Oh, there's a new company that's being advertised on Facebook. I'm going to go jump to that company where people are making money over there, not over here. So you go run over there. And then 6 months later, you're like, man, I'm not making any money. Well, let me go over there. There's a brand new company. I can get on the ground floor. I'm going to be the first. Let me go jump over there. The problem is there's too much choice and exposure because of the internet era. Now, don't get me wrong. The internet is what retired me in the first place. Being able to build international organizations from my living room without having to travel from city to city. But at the same time, it gives people the option of moving from company to company and moving around. And nobody, especially in the United States, nobody wants to put in the work anymore. We have a fast food mentality. So what ended up happening to me, even though I was a top recruiter, top of my company, my income level only went so high. I was making my money off of the bonuses of signing up and not the residual income of maintaining a team, because my team every 6 months was leaving to do something else, and then they turn around and shoot me a link for me to join them. So it ended up turning into a job, meaning if I stopped what I was doing and went on a 3-month vacation, I come back, I no longer have an income anymore. Why? Because my team jumped ship and went somewhere else. Or the owners of the companies always do something stupid. You know, and this is the last 6 or 7 years, this has been my plague. And it's almost like I'm going to have to create something myself. If you want something done right, you got to end up doing it yourself. My plague has been company owners. It never fails. Always got something good and they screw it up amongst themselves. Always. I'm waiting to be proven wrong. Some kind of way, they screw it up. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But once you get to the point where you've learned all the skills necessary that if things were done right, you would be a multi-millionaire. You'd have a huge organization. And then it's like it's other things you got to fight. You can't control the things your people do. You can't control what the owners do. And I got burnt out. And I realized that in the United States, residual income in network marketing is dead. Don't let any of these guys out there fool you, running their mouths on stage talking about, I'm making $300,000 a month and so can you. That's a lie. It's a lie, and I have no problem calling them out. They don't want me calling them out. Are they making money? Yes. Let them walk away for a year and see if they're still making money. And I want to clarify this and quantify this. Between the years 2011 and 12 till now, anybody that built a huge organization before that, they're probably still living off of that residual income, especially if they're a part of product-based companies where people are still on those products. I'm not talking about the old school companies, Melaleuca and Amway, you know, those types. People still living off those residuals. I'm talking about the last 7 to 8 years. Maybe the last 10 years. There's no such thing. Because all those top leaders, what company were they a part of 2 or 3 years ago? And then 2 or 3 years before that? You can name them all. I know them all. So the dirty little secret is those guys got signing bonuses. and guaranteed 6 month to a year contract with maybe a performance enhancement, meaning if you meet certain goals, you're going to get certain bonuses. But the people that they're bringing on board don't have signing bonuses. They don't have guaranteed income. They don't have any of that stuff. These guys need you to meet their bonuses so that they can make $300,000 a month. And when that dries up, they're off to the next company willing to buy them another big check. Yes, it's true. Why? I've been offered them. I've been offered 6 figures just to join companies. Companies I knew I wouldn't be able to build long term. And I didn't want to fall into that trap. And I resigned from the MLM industry. Why? Because I am still in the pursuit from back in 1998-99 of true long-term residual income. And so I started looking, where is there residual income? We got to go back to old school. You know what it is? It's not working a 9-to-5 job. It's not building a huge team of people that's on auto ship every single month. That's not residual income anymore. Residual income is in investments. It's in letting your money work for you. So I went from a 9-to-5, trading time for money, to having 100 people on my team and making money off the residual income, to having thousands, you know that old way, to now money never sleeps. Money works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Money doesn't give you attitude. Money isn't lazy. Money doesn't say, I'm not going to show up for training. I don't feel like it. Money doesn't complain and ask 1,000,001 questions. Money doesn't ask, where's my spillover? Money doesn't ask, when is this ready? When is that ready? That person's not mean to me. My other owner is not cooperating with each other. Money doesn't do any of that. Money does what you tell it to do. So the ultimate goal is residual income, meaning you need, everything you do right now is a hustle to gain enough resources to put in investments that's going to generate you a profit every single month, no matter what you do. Everything until that point is the hustle to get to that point. Every vehicle you're using is the hustle to get the resources to invest. Now, what type of investments? Getting excited here. What type of investments am I talking about? You've got, real estate, you've got traditional precious metals, you've got stock market, you've got Forex. That's not what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at an industry that is going to transform and change the entire planet. And it doesn't matter what you think about it. You can stand on camera flashing money, talking about cash is king all day. You can say the government this, that. None of that matters. It is all about the blockchain, distributed ledger technology, cryptocurrency, and companies that are being developed in that space. That is where you want to have investments. The richest companies in the world are going to be coming from this space. The richest men in the world are going to be coming from this space. And as an early bird, early adapter, this is where you want to put your investments. Right here. Now, there is 1,000 different ways to invest in this space. So you got to be careful. You don't want to, I got $100,000, let me just go throw it at the wall and see if it sticks. You got to be smart about it and know where you want to put certain things, how to start small and flip it and flip your way up. I started this a year ago last month, and I started with $30. $30. And I flipped that $30, not just the $30, but also my hustle, into, I'm not getting kidnapped, I flipped it into a full-time income. Oh, I got so excited I broke my thing. I flipped it into a full-time income. So what that is, I'm not going to share. I don't need to be doing any enticement. I don't need to be a Bitcoin baller. I will show off when I get my Lambo. Bitcoin Lambo. I'll mess with that later. But my point is that no matter where you are, you can get started somewhere. And my only shame, and this is actual, it's shame, but I'm not, upset about it. But my only shame is that I retired from network marketing in I retired from a 9-to-5 job in 2012. I've been living full-time on my own. I don't have a boss. I don't have somebody telling me what to do, where to go, But I was never able to get to a point to have a whole lot of excess income coming in on top of what I was living on, so that I have the resources to do what some of the big players are doing. And so it's my frustration, I'll put it that way. So my frustration is that I've got the knowledge, and now I need to build the resources. And I made some decisions in 2017 that took it to the next level. And then we had a major setback in January, where I lost $2,000 a day. I'm looking, if I still had that income, where I will be today. And then I took on a new project of building a new company that has taken a lot of time. Oh, I feel honored. The mayor of Laverne, Mayor Don Kendrick, is on. Hey, Mayor, you see what park I'm at? In the industrial, I forgot what they call this park. Right off of Arrow, behind Arrow. Anyways, I made a decision to help build a company, but that decision also came at a cost. And the cost was I put so much time here that I haven't been able to put time into. All right, should be back. Why can't I get this? Are we back? Facebook be playing with me, man. Anytime I'm doing anything that might be controversial, they want to shut me down. I'm giving too much positive information. I'll give it a second for more people to come back on, and we'll continue before it happens again. The mayor came on, and I get shut down. All right. Okay. Like I was saying, residual income. The true new form of residual income now is in the cryptocurrency space. Now, Bethany says there's no sound. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure that okay, Bethany got some sound. Yeah, Diana, that happens when I start talking controversial. Somehow I all of a sudden get shut down by Facebook. So, I know what I was saying. The reason why I made a decision to help build this company, Cryptogenics, and because of that, it took my focus away from really taking my money and what's the word, doing my research and investing in certain things, letting my money work for me, because I believe in the long-term vision of what we're doing here with Cryptogenics and what the reward is going to be long-term. And I have a mission and a passion to spread crypto awareness to as many people as possible. See, I understand that old proverb, the more people you help, the more money you're going to make yourself, you're going to help yourself. Now, I could, shut the whole thing down and go my own way and do my own thing and have success. But again, I'm a Morehouse man. That's not in my genes. So I'm going to give you a tip. I'm going to give you 3 tips on what you can start to do right now to generate real residual income. You know what? Before I'll go into that. Okay. 3 tips. Number 1, take $300 and put it into your cryptogenics and invest in your crypto education. Not $800, not $1,500, not $10,000. We've got the best thing on the market right now. $300. It's affordable for most people. We guarantee you results on your education and your learning, and you're getting ongoing education and learning hands-on from us, because we're also will fly to your city and do Bitcoin boot camps. We'll hold your hand a little bit. That is priceless. Priceless. I gotta get out the sun just a little bit. So that is priceless. Invest in your crypto education. Number 2, I think I'm about to get shut down again. Should still be good. All right. Stacy said, done. Stacy already understands the power of being a business owner. She owns her own businesses. But when you own your own business, the business kind of owns you, right? You're putting in more time than your employees. You're kind of a slave to your business at that point. So step number 2, come up with a budget. A budget that you can afford to start to build your crypto portfolio. Your crypto portfolio means putting money into crypto coins. Now, I'm not a licensed economic financial advisor, so I can't be giving you financial advice, but I would suggest you start with Bitcoin. And you do not put money into any other altcoins until you own at least 1 full Bitcoin. All right? Have 1 full Bitcoin. And then you can start to invest in the other altcoins. And never touch it. Put it aside, act like you forgot about it, and let that sucker appreciate in value. It might take 2, 3, 5 years. But be consistent. Whether it's $50 a week, $500 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever you can afford, you put it in your crypto portfolio and you let it start to build slowly. All right? That's number 2. Those 2 things I can guarantee will give you results. I guarantee it. The 3rd now has to do with investments. It now has to deal with you taking the education you learned and applying it. And there's many ways you can apply, because now you're going to take your money and you're going to let your money work for you. Now, there's many ways that you can do this. One way is by learning how to trade, opening up a trading account, Poloniex, Bittrex, Binance, and do day trading. That's how I got started. I don't do it anymore. Every now and then I do, but I don't do it on a consistent basis like I used to. Another way is by investing in blockchain businesses or companies or ICOs that's getting started. So you go to blockchain conventions. Oh, and I highly advise you go to whatever crypto or blockchain conventions that you can get your hands on, as many as possible. I even went all the way to London a couple of months ago for the blockchain expo there. The next one is in Santa Clara at the end of November, blockchain expo. So you go to these expos, you see businesses that are starting up and they're trying to raise funds. You do your research behind them, see which one's legit. I'll tell you this, when I was in London, I knew that 75% of those booths that were set up were all crap, that weren't going to go nowhere. They're raising money and had no actual plan. But I had the education to see the difference. You know, 50% of the booths, I go up to the booths, right, and I talk to the person, and I start asking them questions about the blockchain. And I quickly realized that once you got them off their talking points from their business, they had no idea what the blockchain was all about. No idea. They just went on their talking points for their company. So you got to have smarts and be wisdom and educated to know what's a scam, what's a fraud, or it might be a scam or fraud that you can still make a profit on if you know when to get in and when to get out. I made a whole lot of money on some of those. So education is the key. So you can invest in projects. in Bitcoin projects and crypto projects and blockchain businesses. Another way is by taking advantage of mining. Mining. Now, it is not profitable for the average person to try to mine Bitcoin. Not anymore. Bitcoin's been mined for 9 years now. But there is a project that we are excited about. And that project is called GreenX. You go to my Facebook page and I just scroll down, you scroll down, I think the one before this, where I talk about, or there's a professor from Oxford University just said that their biggest project that they're looking at is green mining technology. Green mining technology. Because to be in a successful business, you have to be able to solve somebody's problem, have a solution to an issue. That's how you have a successful business. You like direct selling. All the weight loss companies out there. Why? Because they're solving somebody's desire to want to lose weight. All the coffee companies, all the health and wellness, all the skincare products. You're solving somebody's problem. Well, if you want to invest in the blockchain, and find a company that is actually going to solve a major problem. And one of the biggest problems is electricity usage, not just in the crypto space, but in the entire world. The fact that electricity is expensive. And unlike fiat money where the government can just print up money whenever they want to, Bitcoin does not just be generated just because they want to. It actually costs about $1,500 to create one Bitcoin. There's a process that takes place. It needs to be mined. Green is solving or help to solve the energy price problem. So we're not talking about something that is a luxury. This is something that is a necessity. So I can't guarantee its success, but what I can do is have high hopes and an educated guess that amongst all the different coins that's out there, that's crap coins, this has the most promise since Bitcoin. All right? Which means there's a whole lot of money to be made on the short term, and there's money to be made on the long term. So, how do you get involved in green? Well, our company is a wholesaler. And you take your money, you invest in an asset, which is a machine that produces coins every single month. That's residual income. It's better than option number 2. See, option 2 is you buy the coin and you sit and hold it. What if you buy the machine that generates the coins every single month? Would you rather buy the golden egg or the golden goose that produces the golden egg every single month? And then what do you do with the money that you're making from this machine? You don't do like in network marketing, you go buy a big house and a Lambo and say, I made it, and sit on a beach somewhere. You actually take that money and you invest it and you flip it into more things. Now you have a bigger resource. So instead of me with $30, what if I had $30,000 to invest in something? And that $30,000 makes me $300,000. I profit $150,000. I take the other $150,000 and I invest that in something bigger. That $150,000 now makes me $1.5 million. I take $750,000 and pocket it. I take the other $750,000 and invest in something bigger. You see how you stair-step way up? But it's your money that's making money for you. And GreenX gives you that ability to get started at the ground level and build yourself up, build your resources up. That is exactly what I'm doing. Some people are already in situations where they have 50 grand to invest, buy 10, 15, 20 machines, and they're going to be rewarded for it. But those of you that are not in that situation, you don't even have enough money to buy one machine, but you have a hustle. You can take advantage of our affiliate program. Just like in network marketing, you're already doing it anyway. Only now we're going to show you, now that you made the money, what to do with it. It's not good enough that you just walk off your job. You want to go to the next level and beyond. Let your money work for you so that if you decide to stay in bed all day, you are still making money and not based off somebody else paying an auto ship every single month and hoping that they do. No, I ain't mad at the Melaleuca people. But I'll be damned if I got to be on the phone at the end of the month making phone calls, making sure everybody's placing their shopping orders. Sounds like a job to me. I ain't doing it. I want my money to make money for me. That, ladies and gentlemen, is residual income. And I gave you 3 ways to get started. Now, the process is up to you. That's all I wanted to share. I will combine these 2 videos together since Facebook shut me down and upload it later. Then you can share it to whoever you want, especially to my family in the network marketing, direct sales, MLM industry, that you're busting your tails to build your teams and you think you're making some good money and only that's going to be gone by next year. Let's build your future. Let's take that same skill set, put it into crypto, and make some real wealth in a shorter period of time. And I'm looking for people who want to run with me. Who wants to run with me? I'm running with or without you. All right, everybody. Have a great day. If you came on late, you can go back and listen to it from the beginning. I will be back later on tonight for Late Night Crypto Talk. Enjoy your Labor Day, and let's go to work. Bye-bye. Bitcoin Brandon out.
Crypto Gen X.